I didn't know where I was.
Parrot's there? Where's Parrots?
Parrots is, I don't know. I don't think he's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Somebody's recording it from somewhere.
I'm here.
Oh. Okay, ready to roll?
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll.
Okay. So I figured we'll do it because we haven't done Bishul Akum in such a long time. So we're only halfway through. So I figured let's do a little bit Sfira. Let's try and get through some of the halachas of Sfira, and then let's see how far we get tonight, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So first, I think we should start with the avelus of Sfira, and then we'll go with the halachas of Sfira. Unless you think we should do the other way around. Anybody have any opinion?
Doesn't matter.
But I'm going to make the announcement. I'm going to mute everybody. If you feel you need to ask a question, just unmute yourself.
It's nice to see everybody, by the way.
Yes, it is very nice.
How you doing?
How are you, Aaron?
Good to see everybody.
Yeah. How many on a screen? If you're on a computer, how many people can you see at once?
I want to say Rabbi updated to the video feature. Look at that.
Yeah. Right now we have 15 Tzvi Yaakov.
I'm saying, you could see 15 on a screen at
No,
once?
you can see about 5, 6 on the top.
Byron, you got to unmute yourself.
If you look, if you go to the speaker view, you can see everybody who's here.
Byron, you were muted. We didn't hear one word you said. You got to unmute yourself.
I got him. Go ahead.
Okay, talk. Say it again.
Now you got to say it again. We didn't hear you.
This is the only method to go to the movies, Aaron. So.
Oh, yeah, I got it now.
Yeah. Okay. Man, you know what? As opposed to the daf on this movie, everybody's dressed.
Thiago, not everybody.
Oh, not everybody. Okay. Maybe not everybody. Almost everybody.
No, if it is, all you have to do is wear a shirt for this.
That's right. Correct. That's all you need to do. Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Gentlemen, we have a woman here. Behave yourselves.
Okay. Just joking.
Yeah, anyways. Okay, so for Avelus of Sfira, yes, it is actually an interesting, just that's a hakdama, right? So the Avelus of Sfira, Rav Moshe has a Havamin about this, and Rav Soloveitchik paskins like this. You know, a lot of people that are Talmidim of YU shave every Shabbos during Sfira, during the 3 weeks. And people think it's because of Kavod Shabbos. Oh, because of Kavod Shabbos. So Kavod Shabbos is more important than keeping the Avelus of Sfira. That's not the reason that, as far as I know, that's not the reason why they shave. It's just an interesting din to understand like what the background of the Avelus is. And meaning, Shulchan Aruch doesn't discuss no shaving on Sfira. It's not discussed. It says haircuts, doesn't say anything about shaving, right? Now some might say because shaving's always awesome, so that's why I didn't even want to get into it on Sfira. Right? You know that's of course we're going to go there. We have to mention that, right? Okay. But no, that being aside, it could very well be that people didn't shave back then, but we know that they did. At least 500 years ago they shaved. So when Shulchan Aruch was around.
The Rami Pano, remember? Yeah,
right, exactly.
A painting of him, right?
Right, the Rami Pano was clean shaven. He was a makubal, right? He was a makubal, so that's what. Yeah. So anyway, so the shaila is like this. So there's 3 levels of avelus that we know about. Well, it's really 4. There's einin, which is before the burial. Then there's oval. Then there's shloish, right? The avelus of Shiva. Then there's the avelus of shloishim, which okay. So obviously for einin can't do anything. No wine, no meat. Once the aninus is done, and then there's burial. So then you can have meat, and you can have, or a person can have meat, and a person can have wine. But then there's no showering, there's no shaving, there's no haircuts, all that type of stuff. Then there's shloishim, which is no cutting of the nails, which is an important one. No cutting of the nails and no taking haircuts. right? And really showering is also not allowed. People are not aware that really showering is not allowed during Shloshim. But, you take cool showers, meaning Shloshim is like the 9 days. What we do is the 9 days. Fine. Then we have the Avelus of the year, which is showering is okay, right? And haircuts are okay. You just can't take haircuts as often as you normally do on a regular year. And cutting nails is okay. So the bottom line is, which one of these Avelusin are we being noyeg for Rebbe Kiva's Talmidim, right? So 24,000 Talmidim were nifter, right? So we're doing Avelus for them. Which Avelus is it? Is it Shiva? Certainly not. Is it Shloshim or is it the year? So for most of the things, the Avelus is a year where we cut nails during Sfira, which, by the way, I get this question very often. Cutting nails during Sfira is no problem. The problem is that it's confusing because during the 9 days you can't cut your nails, so people think it's the 9 days. It's not like the 9 days. Sfira is not as strict as the 3 weeks, certainly not as the 9 days. It's not even as strict as the 3 weeks, right? So the question is, what is the Avelus of Sfira? So Rav Soloveitchik says the Avelus, it has to be the Avelus of the year, not of Shloshim. It's too strong of an Avelus that it's a minig, that they would take a minig and make it of Shloshim. So therefore comes out, so haircuts, right? Good, so you take a haircut before Pesach until Lag BaOmer. That's 33 days. Most people don't take haircuts every 30, if they do, so they get every 3 weeks, so they go another week or two and that's it. That's the Avelus of the whole year. Right, so that's what he says. So shaving would be the same thing. If you shave every day, so don't shave every day, shave every few days. Or if you shave twice a week, so then shave for Shabbos. That's where it comes from, the Avelus, that you shave for Shabbos. Not so much for Shabbos, he holds that you have to do the Avelus of a year, which means you are allowed to shave. You're just not allowed to shave as often as you normally do. That's where they're coming from. Ramosha, I haven't seen the Tshuva in a while, but Ramosha, in the Havamina says he hears that Sfira, but then he comes out not like that, still shouldn't shave, right? Okay, so that's the background. So that being said, if somebody needs to shave for business or this year, then we'll get into all the COVID shilas that are unique to this year, but somebody needs it for business, so then for sure he's going to rely on the opinions that hold that you're allowed to shave, right? So that's really the background with shaving, right? So again, haircuts is not nearly as often, so nobody really needs to take a haircut for 33 days. But the shaving, for those that need it, so then it really would be mutter, like l'mashal for dating. Is shaving for dating okay, right? So I think the minig in Klal Yisrael is that nobody shaves for dating, right? And of course, what they say, the Pais can say, well, if you're going to go out with the girl and you're going to shave, the girl's going to say she doesn't want to marry a guy who's not so frum. Right, so that, right? Yeah, what do you want to say, Rabbi?
No, nothing. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. So, right, so that's what some say. But the bottom line is if a guy's not going to date because he has to shave, because he can't shave, and he's going to push off the dating for 3 weeks, that's the wrong thing to do. So you tell the guy to shave 100%. It's a mitzvah for a guy to get married, right? To have a family, whatever it is. So therefore, that takes precedence over the minig not to shave. So of course he should shave. Now we say minig is not to do it. You don't date anyways. But if a guy's not going to date because he can't shave, then 100% he should shave. 100% he should shave. I think most, if not most poskim are, most if not all poskim are in agreement with that's more important, right? Yeah. So now this year with the corona, so guys, people that work in healthcare that need to wear masks, right? And some doctors are saying that the masks don't give good enough coverage if you have a beard. So then you shave the beard, of course. It's pashut that you would shave the beard. Some guys have asked me, like, if they have a beard the whole year round, they want to know if they have to do hataras nedarim on having a beard, because a beard is a good thing to have, right? So now they don't have a beard. Are they allowed to shave their beard? Do they need to do hataras nedarim for that? So I don't think you have to do hataras nedarim for that, but because there's a Noida Behuda that says that if it's a temporary reason that you don't keep your hanhaga, so then you're allowed to do it without being mater neder. Although I don't think growing a beard requires anything of a neder anyways. Right? Are we good? Yeah? No questions on that? Okay. So that's the first thing. Yeah, so that's the shaving. So again, nails is no problem. and shaving depending on what your hanaga is. But most of Klal Yisrael does not shave. This year, those that keep the first Sfira, which we'll get to in a minute, actually have it easier because they got a freebie last Friday that they were able to shave in the middle, right? So this year, the bonus people, the those that kept the first Sfira is more of a bonus. Okay, we'll get to that. Buying new clothing, that's another one. I get this shaila very often. Can they buy new clothing? I mean, this year it's not Negeya so much because people are not going out. No stores are open. They're getting it online. Can they buy new clothing? New clothing is an issue in the 3 weeks, not in Sfira. There's no issue with buying new clothing during Sfira. Even in the 3 weeks, really, it's mutter. It's only the 9 days. It's only the 9 days that it's usher to.
Even if you have teenage daughters.
Yeah, Yaakov told his wife she can't get clothes.
Oh, now I'm messing the whole thing up. Okay, I'm sorry.
Rabbi, I tried the same thing with my daughter. I think she even texted you, Tzvi Yaakov.
Oh yeah, you should have warned me first. Yeah. Anyways.
I thought it was for a year.
Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately, you are allowed to buy clothing, but whenever there is a bailout, There are those that have a minute not to make shechiyanu, not to buy anything during Sfira that you have to make a shechiyanu on. So it's not at the halacha. I think it's more of a chassidish minig. So if you have that minig, then you should not buy anything real fancy that you'd make shechiyanu on, right? So there's no clothing that I would possibly buy that would make shechiyanu. So I'm still fine to make shechiyanu on. I'm to buy any type of clothing, right? But yeah, right. So that's that.
Delivery of a Tesla during Sfira.
Okay, now that already might be right, or a new smartphone or something. That might be an issue. Yeah, although it's interesting because let's say you're buying a Tesla and it's for the family, so then that wouldn't get a shechiyanu. That would get a hatoy v'ameitiv. Hatoy v'ameitiv you can make, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Okay, so that's that. Body for women, you doing body hair removal for women is no problem. Even haircuts for women, if it's going to be a tznius issue, the hair is sticking out of the sheitel and all that, that's perfectly mutter, right? Kids don't have this issue. Kids do not have to keep the halachas of Sfira, at least till Hagiya L'chinuch, which would be around 9 years old, let's say. I mean, Hagiya L'chinuch, I believe nowadays about 25, 30, but let's go with the regular 9 years old. So before 9 years old, the kid could take a haircut. The kid needs a haircut. The bangs are in his hair and in his eyes, whatever it is. So take a haircut, right? That's no problem. If men do body hair removal, which we discussed in the daf a couple of days ago, right? But if a man happens to do body hair removal, then that's allowed too. That is allowed too. It's only the hair on the face and the head that's an issue, not on the body. Wigs are not hair, so it's interesting. Wigs you're allowed to wash, set, cut, no big deal. Wigs are considered like clothing, right? Which is interesting because since wigs are considered like clothing, so then during Chol HaMoed, most places can say you cannot wash a wig on Chol HaMoed because that's washing clothing. Laundry is also on Chol HaMoed, right? So you get both ways. During Sfira, since it's clothing, it's no problem, cutting, styling, and doing a wig. But during Sfira, since it's clothing, you cannot. Since it's clothing, you can't do anything with it during Chol HaMoed. Yeah.
What about hair replacement for men?
Hair replacement is the same. Are they implants or like a toupee?
It was a joke, but I was thinking about implants.
No, that's a good question. Listen, it's a good question. If it's an implant, I think it becomes part of your head, then it's an issue.
So Yaakov, I think you should broach the subject because Rabbi was ready to roll, man. He was ready on that one.
Yeah. Okay, whatever it is, but yeah. So a toupee or whatever would be the same thing. Mustache, for those that have beards, mustaches are allowed to be trimmed. That's no problem. A mustache is allowed to be trimmed. Even on Chol HaMoed, a mustache is allowed to be trimmed. If it's getting in the way, if it's bothering you for eating, is what the pasuk can say, then you're allowed to trim the mustache. What happens if somebody's in pain? This is always a tough shaila. Let's say the beard is causing him pain, right? So, guys, you get a growth of a week or two and it's itchy and it's this and it's that. I don't know. It's tough. If it's really medically causing somebody, that they can't sleep or whatever it is, then they would be able to shave or whatever it is, or trim. I don't know. I guess trim it or whatever, make it feel a little bit better. If it's actual pain, right? But stam itching, I don't believe. I think that's exactly what it's supposed to do. No, isn't that what the Avelis is supposed to do? I think. No.
Can I ask you about the pain of the beard? What kind of
Yes.
pain is the beard?
Oh, what kind of pain is beard?
No, what kind of pain do you get from a beard?
Yeah, well, men are wimps. I don't know if you're aware of that. Men are wimps. So,
Oh, there.
so since men are wimps, so since men are yeah. So sometimes it gets ingrown, the hairs or whatever it is. So therefore it could be a little bit of an issue. I don't know who's posting from the iPhone, but we're gonna get to that stuff. Yeah. Fine. So that's that. What about music? Right? Okay. So music.
Yaakov, this year it's okay.
This year it's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to why it's okay. But music's another one that Shulchan Aruch doesn't discuss. There is no discussion in Shulchan Aruch whatsoever about not listening to music. All Shulchan Aruch says is that you can't make a wedding, and you can't dance. That's what Shulchan Aruch says. It doesn't say anything about listening to music. Now, the reason for that is because, and this is a little bit of a sobering thought, but the reason that is because after the Churban, music is not allowed to be listened to the entire year, according to the Shulchan Aruch. So since, according to the Shulchan Aruch, music's not allowed ever, except by a simcha, then therefore Shulchan Aruch is not going to mention that it's not allowed during Sfira in the 3 weeks, because it's not allowed a whole year. Now we're lenient because the Ramah says that music's only not allowed when you're going to sleep, meaning all year round. Music's only not allowed when you're going to sleep and when you're eating not at a simcha. But other than that, then you could listen to music. That's what we rely on nowadays, on the Ramah's opinion, that when you're going to sleep, it's because meaning it's only music that kings would listen to. So since kings listen to music when they go to sleep, and kings listen to music while they eat, so therefore it's not allowed. Which parenthetically, there's an interesting machlokes amongst kashrus agencies.
But kings have professional musicians playing for them. They don't have a radio.
So so that's okay. So we'll get to that. You're good. That's a good point. So we'll get to that. But parenthetically, it's an interesting machlokes amongst kashrus agencies. I don't know what each kashrus agency holds, but whether you're giving the kashrus just on the food of the restaurant or you're giving it on the ambiance too, meaning it extends to basically to whether they allow live music in the restaurant or not. I think, don't quote me on this, I think the OU does not allow any music. I think, not even recorded music. Is that true? I think, for sure not live. OU says we give a hechsher on the entire restaurant, and therefore they say, since halachically there is no heter whatsoever, unless it's a simcha, to listen to music while you're eating. So OU says, therefore, we are not allowing any music in a restaurant. Other hechsherim say, no, we're here just for the food. What the people decide to do on their own is their own business, right? Anyways, so that's why Shulchan Aruch doesn't discuss that you're not allowed to listen to music during Sfira, right? So that being said, right, so us we are mater music for the whole year round. So therefore, we have to say that music is usher during Sfira. But again, really, the music that's usher is only music that's going to make you dance, which by me is nothing's going to make me dance. So therefore, I can listen to all music, No, it's only fast music that's going to make you want to jump up and dance. So slow music all year, every year during Sfira Din is okay, and classical music. Those type of things are not the music that that the Shulchan Aruch is talking about. Again, because Shulchan Aruch just says no weddings. It doesn't say anything about no music. What?
Music during
Sorry. I meant to, I'm muted by mistake. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rabbi.
Music during the 12 months is the same, really?
Really, music during the 12 months is the same. It's only music that's going to get you to dance.
Or eating, during eating or sleep.
During eating is also for everybody always. Listening to music.
No. All right, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can listen, if you're driving in your car, you can listen to music.
No, you have
Slow
to listen
music.
to Torah tapes, so
No, I get so into Torah tapes, I almost had an accident, so I don't do that again.
Are you pro or anti when you listen? Is that when you're anti what the speaker's saying, or only a pro? That's I can see you crashing when you get
the
upset.
people that I'm pro with.
Okay.
Okay, but are you telling me it's really not us to listen while you're driving?
Correct. Yes, but again, not fast music, slow music, right? But again, it's
Yaakov, they dance because we don't know how to do a minuet, but classical music is supposed to be able to dance to also. That's music is to dance.
Right, but I think it's dancing of simcha. Classical music, the dancing is more ballet, right? Is that called simcha? Don't look like simcha to me.
No, that's now you're going to get Henny Youngman jokes. I'm not saying it.
I don't know about the Henny Youngman joke, but all right. Yeah. No, I'm saying it's
a great joke.
I'm saying, but simcha meaning lebedika dancing, not. No.
I don't know. I mean,
Yaakov, you talking about a hora? You want to do a hora now?
What?
No,
music.
The Sly and the Family Stone. You can't dance to the music. His song dance to the music. You can't play his song. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, so I don't know what that song is.
The yeshiva. Oh, you're missing a fantastic. Ask Yaakov or Henry.
Okay.
Anyway, but so the music that everybody says is animal, is this, it's concentrate. So that you can't listen to in Sfira, but all the other music that people say is good, that you could listen to.
What do you mean? You say the garbage music shouldn't be listened to all year.
But it's because you tell me it's not music. You can't have it both ways. You tell me it's music, but then it's not music. It's garbage. Which one
meaning it's not pshat that music is also. It's dancing that's really also, not music.
So you can't dance in your car.
No, but it's music. But you could drive faster in your car because of the music.
Okay.
Right.
So something like disco music, which is really for dancing, would be awesome.
Right. No, I'm talking about slow and classic. Listen, the minhag in Klal Yisrael has become not to listen to any music. So I'm not here to say that anything, rest of what Klal Yisrael doesn't do. But the bottom line is
Yaakov, you let it have your ringtone on the 1812 overture.
You should know there's a tshuva about it. There's a tshuva about whether you should have, somebody has a business and you put people on hold.
Why you're bringing it up, right?
Why?
Your father, when the ringtone came out on the phone, he was so excited at the 1812 overture.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, but no, there's our poskim that discuss whether you have a business and you put people on hold. Should you put music on when people are waiting on hold? It's not right to put on music, right? But anyways, so again, the minhag of Klal Yisrael is slow. But you ask any rabbi, is it better to listen to the radio or to listen to music, right? Now, not without getting into the whole radio situation, right? But the bottom line is, it's a whole lot kosher to listen to music, obviously depending on which type of music, than it is to listen to the radio, obviously depending on which radio station. But many, many radio stations, it's really not so kosher to listen to. And a lot of people, because they can't listen to music, end up listening to the radio, which is not right. Here
goes Aaron from Queens.
Yeah, well, no, that sports talk is already, what's so bad about sports talk? But a lot of these morning shows and whatever, we don't have to get involved with exactly what they are. A lot of them are pretzas. It's nivel peh and it's pretzas, and people listen to it because they're not listening to music. So what's better to do? Listen to music, classical, or to do that? I think it's pashut that you should listen to music, right? Now, so interesting what you're saying, Rabbi, about this a cappella business, right? So everybody listen to this a cappella. So what's a cappella? A cappella is people that's making noises with their mouths to make it sound like it's an orchestra or whatever it is, right? Most poskim are of the opinion that a tape recorder, that's most of the olam on this call knows what a tape recorder is, right? I don't think my kids do, right? But just also agav, I think I said this on one of the shiurim, but my kids, they're making all these phone calls to school my younger ones had no idea what a dial tone was. They used my mother's phone and they press a button and say, "What's that noise that's on?" And they're like, "That's called the dial tone." Okay, so I'm just saying, it's crazy how the new generation, it's totally insane, right? But anyway, so a tape recorder, most places can say that a tape recorder is a musical instrument. It has a din of a musical instrument. So therefore, even if on the tape or on the CD or on the download, it's guys singing with their voices, that is a musical instrument, and therefore it's not allowed to be played, even if it's a cappella. Obviously, there are places that hold that it's okay, but most that I know of say a cappella is not really allowed. So you might as well, if you're listening to a cappella, you might as well listen to regular music.
Tzvi Yaakov, so what you're saying then, so when I'm listening to music on any of the vehicles, it's a recording of music. It's not music.
Right.
Not
yeah.
Music.
So that, yeah. So you're going back to your roots, and that's the Chaim Berlin.
I guess so.
So that's the Chaim Berlin heter that they say, that recorded music, right? So clearly the poskim that say that a cappella is a problem are not going with this supposed Chaim Berlin heter that it's not recorded, that it's only live music. I could hear the Sfira about the live music too. It's only live music because there you get more into it, but something on a recorded music, it's not, right? The bottom line is people still go to concerts, right? And they go to concerts for a reason, because there's a lot more vibe over there than it is on recording. So that's Sfira also, yeah, so that's also okay. I don't know what Murat music is, so whoever Pat posted that.
What music?
Murat, I think you just posted. I don't know what that is, unless it was a typo. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that's the story with music. Yeah. So music like Lamashal. Oh, is it mutter? Is it mutter? So I forgot what your question was. Retype it. Somebody, you could type questions on the screen if you're wondering what's going on for the older generation. You can type questions and it flashes on the screen. So, anyways, so that's why for music, this one I don't really understand. The poskim all matter music to do exercise. A lot of people exercise and they need to listen to music because they're going out of their mind while they're exercising, right? So therefore the poskim say that music is not there to make you happy. It's there that you should be able to exercise, so therefore it's okay. I don't understand that, because the reason why you listen to music when you exercise because the music gets you going, right? Isn't that a form of dancing? Isn't that exactly what they don't want us to be doing during Sfira?
Right.
Anybody hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100% I hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't agree, because I think dancing is an enjoyable thing. Usually exercising while you're doing it is not exactly
enjoyable.
Ushi.
Yes.
I play, I walk now 3 times a day on my porch, and I put on music on YouTube, and that's how long I walk.
What do you mean, how long the song is?
Yeah, I put on songs between 5 and 9 minutes, and that's, I know when the longest, that's, I keep on walking. So I'm putting on music that I like. I'm not putting on people I don't like, but that's what I do.
We're not talking about exercise. We're talking about people really doing exercise.
No, but really, they're doing that exercise, but it's you're listening to the music to get you pumping, to get you going. So that's like a form of dancing. Alani is daiti. Okay. That's what I think. But you know what?
I think he was knocking your exercise regimen.
I think so. Look what he's sitting there in the dark, and he's worried about. Look at him over there. He's in a dungeon over there. Yes.
That's why I'm rich. I shut off all the lights.
Yeah. Anyway, but the poskim all say that exercising with music is allowed, right? So again, it's the same. And for music, let's say somebody's driving late at night. This is another one I don't understand. So let's say somebody's driving late at night. So the poskim say you need music to keep you up. So therefore, you're allowed to listen to music, right? I don't understand. It's if you're falling asleep at the wheel, it's a sakana. You're not allowed to drive. Just what do you mean? You're going to listen to music to keep you up? Just pull over and go to sleep. You can't drive. It's a sakana, right? Okay. So elamai must be that they're telling you that you're not really falling asleep, but you're just going out of your mind with boredom, and therefore that's music that you're not going to dance to. That's music that you need just simply as a distraction, right? So that's the same thing. So again, the common denominator with all these things are, at least the way I understand it, is that it's only music that you're doing to listen, to jump around and to dance and et cetera, et cetera. But if it's music that's there for any other reason other than dancing, then it would be allowed, right? Which brings us to this year, why most of the poskim have allowed people listening to music, even faster music, because everybody's stuck at home and people are going crazy, and therefore the poskim are allowing music. Same reason why if somebody's down and out and he needs music for chizuk, so therefore he's allowed to listen to music in the 9 days. So the same thing, everybody's considered a little bit out of it nowadays, so therefore we're allowing music. So you flashed the question, can you listen to music when eating a meal and going to sleep? You cannot. I don't really know of any heta that you could do that nowadays. Unless you're really down. There's one of the poskim, there's one acharon that says that nowadays our society, we're very down and out, we're not such happy people, and therefore we have to listen to music, even though the Chacham really asked it. But that's okay. It's a das yachid, but it seems like Klal Yisrael has adopted that's why we do listen to music, because we're down. Yeah. So that's that. A lot of people also ask, can kids listen to music? I see no reason why kids can't listen to music every year. But and if the adults happen to be hearing the music, so then that's fine. That's fine. They're not really meaning to listen to Uncle Moshe. You know what I mean? I hope you're not really enjoying Uncle Moshe so much. So kids can listen to music. Okay. That's basically, any questions on that with the haircuts music?
Music to help you go to sleep. Does that work like a sleeping pill or no?
I don't know because the Ramah says it's music when you go to sleep. When you go to sleep is part of the Issa, because that's what kings do. Mm-hmm. If you need it health-wise, because that's what makes you fall asleep, and it's for a health purpose, then it's going to be okay, right? It's not there, but it's got to be a legitimate health. Somebody asked me last night that the kids listen to like Uncle Moshe when they go to sleep. So I don't know. It's interesting because I guess that's partially chinuch, isn't it? I don't know how great a chinuch it is, but it's not chinuch parents. Yeah. Okay. What?
Yaakov, the marvelous Midos machine. That is a great.
Yes, it is. It is. It's true. So you're saying that would be okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
One second. Let's find kids today that listen to Marvelous Midos machine.
Yeah.
They don't do. What should you do? They don't know who Laurel and Hardy is. No.
I actually tried now during Corona to get my kids to sit for a shmul kunda, okay, which we used to sit for hours on end, hours.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
they couldn't.
He's the best.
They couldn't sit for 5
He
minutes.
is the best.
Right.
Country Yossi. Country Yossi.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, maybe you sat too long. That's why you can't sit anymore. Sorry about that. In Sfira, that's not a good joke.
I'm maskim, by the way. I'm completely maskim. No.
Me too.
Yaakov, and then when my brother Meir wanted to take it away and punish us, he ripped out the spaghetti streaks from inside the tape. You know what I mean?
Of course, right. That's the way it goes. Okay. Anyway, so that's the avelus. That's the avelus of Sfira. Oh, so one other thing. So what are the minhagim of Sfira? So that basically there's two minhagim of Sfira. Those that keep what we call first Sfira and those that keep second Sfira. Right? First Sfira starts from Rosh Chodesh Iyar and it goes, first Sfira goes from Chol Hamoed and then it goes to Lag BaOmer in the morning, unless you're Sephardi. If you're Sephardi, you got to keep the whole 33rd of the Omer. And meaning you can't do any haircuts or anything till the 34th. And then the other minhag, for the most part, is from Rosh Chodesh Iyar all the way to Shloshis Yemei Hagbala, to the 3 days before Shavuos. Those are the two. Then there's varying shittas. If you do the first day Rosh Chodesh, the second day Rosh Chodesh, the whole Shloshis Yemei Hagbala, fine. The Arizal was held that there's nothing. There's no hair cutting at all from the beginning till the end. Nothing at all. Not even on Lag BaOmer. Right. So that's what a lot of Hasidim do. It's interesting because the Sharatzian says that even this whole disagreement of when you keep the days of Sfira is only for haircuts. He says for music, it should really be the whole Sfira according to everybody. He doesn't say it for sure, but he says that that's what seems to be the more proper thing to do, which I think most of Klal Yisrael doesn't do. The main point is that you have to have 33 days of Avelis. There were 33 days that the Talmidei Rebbe Kiva were killed, and it's just a matter of machlokes of exactly which days they were killed. So the bottom line is the 33 days of Avelis has to be kept. Right? Now we do say Mitzvah Hayom Kekulei, so therefore the Avelis is over on Lag B'Omer in the morning, right in the morning, because that's part of the day. You've already kept part of the day, so therefore the haircuts could be taken right away Lag B'Omer in the morning. What's interesting is that there are people that make weddings Lag B'Omer at night, meaning the evening before the night of actual Lag. So that's really a big point of contention, because seemingly you shouldn't be able to make weddings. You should only be able to make weddings during the day. But Reb David Feinstein holds really you can start making weddings once you stop saying Tachnun, then it already becomes a holiday. And we stop saying Tachnun right before Lag B'Omer, Erev Lag Mincha before Lag B'Omer, we don't say Tachnun. So therefore that's already considered a Yom Simcha, so therefore you can make a wedding Lag B'Omer by night also. Most Litvish keep second Sfira, not first Sfira. Right? And Hasidim are more the keeping the most Litvish keep second. What did I just say? Most Litvish keep second Sfira, not first Sfira. Is that what I said, or I said the other way around? Most Litvish, the real Litvaks keep second Sfira, not first Sfira. Right? They keep they're not keeping Avelis till Rosh Chodesh Iyar, and then from there they keep. After that they keep. Yeah. Okay. So now fine. That's basically with the Avelis of Sfira. Now what's with counting Sfira? So let's try and go through some of the more common shilas. Yeah. So if you miss counting Sfira at night, right? So since we have a couple of women on the share, or maybe more, but whatever it is, we got a couple sitting here and live. So therefore we got more. So what's the story with women counting with a bracha, Sfira, right? So really, Sfira is a mitzvah sasei shazman grama, right? It's a time-related positive mitzvah. So therefore, women should be potter, right? So women are potter. Really, women are potter. But like every other mitzvah sasei shazman grama, the women can do it and make a bracha, just like they make a bracha on sukkah, they make a bracha on lulav and esrog. So they can make a bracha on Sfira too. And the Mishnah Brura brings I forgot who. I'm not going to look it up now. Okay, the Mishnah Brura brings, I forgot who it was, but he brings that women don't make a bracha. There's a very interesting machlokes. I heard this from Nissen Kaplan between Reb Chaim Kanievsky and Yibodel L'Chaim, between Reb Chaim Kanievsky and Reb Elyashiv, right? Because the Mishnah Brura brings that women should not make a bracha because they don't know the halacha that if they miss one night without counting, then they can no longer make a bracha. So since they don't know that halacha, so therefore they should not even start with the bracha because they might miss a night of counting, and then they're going to end up continue making with the bracha, and they're not allowed to make with the bracha. Right? Oh, there we go. So that's the way he says it. So they're not going to know this halacha, right? So then the question becomes nowadays that women do know the halachas. If anything, women know more halacha than men, right? So then women are very well aware of it. So then they should make a bracha, right? So the question, so if you look in the source of this Mishnah Brura, because they found either a new copy of what he was quoted, or they came out that it was a typo. That it was only because that, how did he say it? I'm messing it up. Hold on a second. Let me look it up. I'm sorry. Let me look it up here. What is it? What simon is there about over there? Just looking it up.
Tough pay test.
Tough pay test. You found the one where he talks about the women.
Can I run a commercial now?
You want run a commercial, Parrots? Yeah.
You know what commercials are now, or no? They have no idea.
No, they don't. They run straight binge watching. Straight marvelous Midos machine. No, it's top pay test.
No.
It is in top pay test, but I don't know where it discusses the women.
Pervitz, if you can run an ad, you have to pay for it, don't forget.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's what it is. I remember now. The Mishnah Berurah says that the reason why women shouldn't make a bracha is because they're going to, I mixed it up. The Mishnah Berurah says the reason why women shouldn't make a bracha is because they're not going to make it through the whole Sfira without missing a night. Because they're busy, right? So they're busy and they're going to forget. So since they're not going to make it through the whole Sfira without missing a night, so therefore they shouldn't make with a bracha. Right? That's the way the Mishnah Berurah brings it. Right? But when if you looked at the source of where the Mishnah Berurah brought it from, it says that it's not pshat that we're afraid that they're not going to make the bracha. They're not going to make it every night. They're not going to know the halacha that if you miss a night, that you no longer make with the bracha. And since they're not going to know the halacha, so therefore it's they better than not to start. So Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that the Mishnah Berurah, even though he misquotes, again, it's not a misquote. There was a typo, or they found the original. He saw it quoted from somebody else. Nobody knows exactly. But the original did not say it the way the Mishnah Berurah said it. Meaning, if you go with the Mishnah Berurah, then women nowadays shouldn't make a bracha, because if they're not going to make it every night without a bracha, if they're not going to make it every night without forgetting, then they shouldn't make it, right? But if you go with the source that the Mishnah Berurah quotes, and that source says that we're not worried about them not making it every night. We're just worried that they're not going to know the halacha. Then nowadays women do know the halacha. So therefore the halacha should change, and even the Mishnah Berurah should agree that women should make a bracha. So Rabbi Yashiv said, enachanami, so women nowadays shouldn't make a bracha. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, no, the Mishnah Berurah is written in Ruach HaKodesh. And if the Mishnah Berurah brought it down that way, then that's the way it was meant to be, and therefore the halacha shouldn't change. It's just an interesting machlokes about it. Either way, I think most women do make, or many women do make a bracha, which is fine. Now, here's where people get confused, and they think like, if you missed one night, I think I tweeted this out, but if you miss one night, then they think that you are out from counting, meaning since you can no longer make a bracha. First of all, before that, I'll take a step back. If you forget to count that night, the next day you count without a bracha during the day, and then you continue counting with a bracha, right? That's no problem. That's the first thing. Second thing is that if you did miss a day, you're still mechuyev to count Sfira. You just can't make a bracha. And the only reason is because it's a suffix bracha. Meaning there's a machlokes about Sfira. Is Sfira 49 individual mitzvahs, or is Sfira one big mitzvah made out of 49 parts, right? Comprised of 49 parts. So we really repaskin that it's 49 separate mitzvahs. So therefore, if you miss one night, then you could still continue counting with the bracha, because each one is its own separate mitzvah. However, because we know the rule of suffix bracha, so whenever there's an opinion that says that you shouldn't make a bracha, so brachas are not ma'akiv. So we never want you saying Hashem's name in vain. So therefore, we say not to make a bracha, just to defer to that opinion, because we don't want it to be a suffix. We don't want it to be a suffix brachas, right? So, but if you miss the night, just because you're not making a bracha doesn't mean that you're not required to count Sfira. You're required to count Sfira 100% every night. It doesn't make a difference if you're not making a bracha or not. Obviously, you should try and find somebody to be mitzi you with the bracha. Like this, you get the bracha in anyways, right? Now you're also supposed to count, since it's 49. Since we at least chashed that it's 49 individual mitzvahs. Yes, you can count all night until alois, yeah, until dawn. Since it is 49 individual mitzvahs, so each day should be counted for as long as possible. Meaning, you should, let's say a day is 24 hours. So you want to count each as much of each day as possible. So therefore, it's best to count Sfira as early in the night as possible. Like this, you get in as much of that day counted, right? Meaning, if you daven Ma'ariv at 12 o'clock at night, so there's only about 20 hours left to the day. So you left 4 hours of the day uncounted, right? Because you're already done with the previous day, and you haven't yet counted that next day. So therefore, it's really better to daven Ma'ariv as soon as nightfall, and then count Sfira right after that. We count Sfira after Ma'ariv just simply because of Tadr V'Shein Tadr Kaidim, the one that is more common goes first. I can't see the end of that question, Naftali. But yeah, if you're davening at home, you should try and daven as early as possible. No, not earlier than the Zman Kriya Shema.
No, I was asking if since davening at home this issue, we have in mind that when I do Sfira, have my wife come over and make the bracha for her, and have her.
Well, is she making her own bracha or is she not?
Well, no, I was doing it that way. I was having her in mind because I knew we discussed this Mishnah Brewer in the past.
Right.
This year we're home, so I was making the bracha for her. She was saying amen and saying it.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm
saying, what does that have to do with counting as early in the night as possible?
No, I was going back.
You're going back in the before that. Yeah. Yeah. Another din that people are not aware of is that you should lechatchila know what day it is before you start counting. Meaning, people say the bracha and then they start looking through the siddur for what night it is. That's not proper because the bracha, you're making the bracha on the Sfira. So when you're making the bracha, you should have in mind exactly which night you're counting. Meaning, you don't come home and ask your wife. You ask your wife what's for supper, right? Or whatever it is. You say, hello, what are we having for supper? And you don't say, okay, just tell me what bracha it is, and I'll make a bracha, and then you'll show me the food, right? That's not the proper thing to do. You got to know what you're making a bracha on, right? So the same thing. You got obviously you're making a bracha on Sfira, so that's why it's not a problem. But you should really know the day. Besides that, it might end up being a hefsek because you make the bracha, and then you're busy looking through the charts to see what day it is, and there's going to be a little bit of a pause. Again, these are all frumkeit. It's not ma'akev. But that is the proper thing to do. Yeah. Now there is an interesting din. I think it's the Brisker of Reb Chaim. I don't remember now offhand. That even if you are not counting with a bracha because you missed one night, but the one night of the week, which this year comes out to Wednesday nights, is the night that you count the weeks also, right? So that night. He says that night you can count with a bracha. Again, I don't know if we pass on like this, because that's a whole separate counting that you have. That's meaning it's a separate mitzvah to count the weeks, right? So therefore, that night you would be able to count. I don't think the Velt does that. Okay, we got to finish in a minute. Another thing that comes up very often is that when somebody says, "Okay, what's tonight?" I think that's more common now because everybody's davening at home. So you're not in shul. You don't hear the chazan say it. So everybody's got to figure out. So you say, okay, what was last night? What's tonight? Bottom line is the only time that really you would not be able to count with a bracha. You know what? Let's back it up just to make sure everybody understands what we're talking about. If you say tonight is whatever tonight is, yeah. Well, actually, I should really do a shtick and do the halacha. Say tonight, right? Okay, so you say tonight is 20. Okay, so there you go. I just did it, right? It is 20 tonight. Right? Tonight is 20, right? So and everybody jumps on you. Say, okay, you can no longer make a bracha. So the first things first is you have to say it that tonight is 20. If somebody asks you what's tonight, and you say what's tonight in the Omer, and all you say is 20, that doesn't count, and you're allowed to make it a bracha of that because all you said is the number 20. You have to say tonight is 20, right? And then some say even that's not right because you said tonight is 20 and you didn't count the weeks, right? So, but if you have to say hayom, etc., etc. And another shtick that you can do if you really want to get people nervous is when they ask you what was last night and you say tonight is 20, but if you have it in your mind that when that's coming out of your mouth you're not being yotze, then you 100%, that's exactly what I just did. So I had in mind that when I'm saying it, I am not counting Sfira, and therefore you have no problem counting Sfira that night, again with a bracha, right? But that's what it is. So really, it only has to be that tonight you have to answer somebody, right? Also asking somebody, is tonight 20, is also you're not yotze. The guy says, oh, you yotze already. No, that's not you. It's not Sfira is not a question, right? So it's clear that by asking that question, you did not have in mind to be counting, and therefore you can still continue to count with a bracha. Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it. All right. Any questions or?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Everybody, stay safe. It's good to see everybody, and hopefully next week we'll do it again.
Likewise.
Yeah.
We look
Okay.
forward. Thank you.
Everybody be well and stay well.
Thank
Jesse
you.
Barish, it's good to see you. It's good to
Good to
see you.
see
You're looking
you,
good.
Rabbi.
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank
It's good
you.
to see you as
Thank you.
opposed to a text. As opposed to a text. You know, see you live in
Yes.
person. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Same.
Yeah.